Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to sift through a whole stack of sources and pull out the really key insights so you feel genuinely informed.
That's the goal.
And today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating, a whole world of spiritual ideas. We're talking intense devotion, cosmic tests, fierce divine love, and even this playful, deep wisdom.
Yeah, it's quite a mix.
Our mission really is to uncover some maybe surprising truths about figures like Shiva, Ravana, Kali, and Krishna, and see what they might tell us about our own lives.
Exactly. And our source material today is essentially a collection of reflections on these four figures.
Yeah.
We'll be exploring themes like, well, devotion, obviously, but also ego, divine justice, the power of the feminine, and this idea of cosmic unity.
Think of it as a journey, maybe, a shortcut through some complex but really beautiful spiritual stories.
A journey through interconnected narratives, absolutely. Trying
True.
to offer clarity without, getting bogged down.
Okay, so where should we start? Maybe with one of the most paradoxical figures, or Ravana.
Ravana, yes.
He's often painted as the big villain, right? But the material we looked at really highlights him as, well, one of Lord Shiva's most intense devotees. Can you maybe unpack that a bit? His acts of penance were extraordinary.
They really were. I mean, it's hard to even grasp the level of his devotion. He performed these incredible acts of self-sacrifice, austerity, things that showed just absolute dedication.
Like composing the Shiva Tandava Stotram. And didn't he offer his own heads?
That's right. The hymn is incredibly powerful, still chanted today. And yes, the offering of his heads multiple times, according to some stories, is a testament to the sheer intensity of his tapasya, his spiritual effort.
Wow.
And here's the crucial part. Shiva granted him boons, immense power. But, and this is key, it wasn't because Ravana was, let's say, morally perfect.
Right.
It was a direct response to the sincerity and the force of that devotion, the tapasya itself.
Okay, but he still had this major flaw, didn't he? The ego.
Exactly. That's the paradox. Despite this profound connection, this deep devotion, the sources say he did not dissolve his ego, desire for power or pride. So his devotion was described as deep but imperfect.
Which brings up a big question for me, and probably for listeners too. Why would Shiva give so much power to someone who's still, deeply egoic? It feels risky.
It does seem counterintuitive from our human perspective, yeah. But this is where we need to understand Shiva's specific nature, often called Bolanath.
Bolanath, meaning the innocent lord, easily pleased?
Sort of, yeah. But innocent here doesn't mean naive. It means he responds directly to sincere effort, to that tapasya, even if the seeker has flaws. The sources suggest Shiva's role isn't really about interfering directly with karma in that way.
Okay.
He grants the power based on sincerity of the seeking, but then it's up to the devotee how they use it. The responsibility is entirely theirs.
So the boons themselves become like a test.
Precisely. They're profound tests. Do you use this power with humility for greater good, or does the ego take over and lead to downfall? It reveals your inner state.
Right.
Shiva's justice isn't emotional like ours. It's described as cosmic. Ravana's rise and his fall were both seen as part of the divine Leela, the cosmic play.
A play designed to reveal certain truths.
Exactly. And there's a quote from the material that really hits this home. Shiva isn't stupid. He's beyond right and wrong. He's the mirror of your true will.
The mirror of your true will. Wow, so Shiva giving the boons wasn't necessarily approval. It was more like amplifying what was already inside Ravana, forcing a confrontation with his own ego.
That's a great way to put it. Magnifying the inner landscape. It challenges our usual ideas about divine reward and punishment, doesn't it?
It really does. It suggests real growth comes from seeing our own stuff writ large. And it makes you think, well, how are we using the opportunities or gifts that come our way? Are they revealing humility or ego?
A very pertinent question. It shifts the focus inward. So if Ravana represents that imperfect, ego-tinged devotion, let's look at the other extreme. Total absolute surrender. The story of Markandeya.
Ah, yes, such a powerful contrast. So the sage Mirikandu faces this choice from Shiva.
An almost impossible choice, really.
A long-lived fool or a short-lived wise son. And Mirikandu chose wisdom.
Valuing truth over time. A profound choice.
But the consequence was heavy. His son, Markandeya, was destined to die at just 16.
Imagine knowing that. But what does Markandeya do on that fateful 16th birthday? He didn't run, he didn't bargain in the usual way.
No, he went straight to a Shiva linga, that symbolic representation of Shiva, and just hugged it, right, and started chanting Om Namah Shivaya, deeply.
Total focus, total surrender. And then Yama, the god of death, arrives as fated.
But Markandeya won't let go of the linga. He clings to Shiva.
And this is the climax. When Yama throws his noose to claim Markandeya, it touches the linga itself. And Shiva? Well, the text says he burst forth in fury and killed Yama.
Killed death itself.
Incredible, isn't it? Now, Yama was later revived, but only on one condition.
That Markandeya would live forever. He became immortal.
Exactly. So the key takeaway here from the source is crystal clear. Bhakti, that loving devotion, when total, is more powerful than fate, and that Shiva absolutely protects those who surrender completely.
It's stunning. But you might ask, why the tough choice for Mirakandu in the first place? Why not just offer a wise son who also lives long?
Right, it seems harsh. But the material explains it as a fundamental test of values, time versus truth. Shiva doesn't always give what just, makes us comfortable or pleases the mind.
He gives what awakens the soul.
Precisely. Markandeya's seemingly tragic short lifespan actually set the stage for this incredible divine intervention, revealing the sheer power of unwavering devotion. It underlines that idea. Choosing depth over duration opens the door to higher grace.
Depth over duration, I like that. It really speaks to the power of commitment, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it's transformative.
Okay, so from Shiva's grace through surrender, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about Kali.
Ugh, the fierce mother.
Yes. And the sources bring up this really intriguing thought right away. Kali is also a girl. Girls are charming by nature. She must be seductive. It's a provocative starting point.
It is, and it challenges typical images of Kali, perhaps. But the answer the material gives is, well, yes, she is charming, she is seductive, but...
Not in the way we usually think of seduction.
Exactly. It's not despite her often fearsome appearance, it's because of it. Her charm isn't about surface beauty. It's the allure of her raw power, her undeniable presence, her absolute truth. It's not meant to stimulate lust in the ordinary sense.
It's meant to do what, then?
To pull your soul into surrender. It's a spiritual magnetism. Her beauty is her power and truth.
And her love is described as raw. What does raw mean here?
It means unfiltered. It doesn't sugarcoat things. It doesn't hide the difficult parts of reality or of you. It's total. It embraces everything, your light, your shadow, your broken bits, all of it.
Yeah.
It's also described as fiercely maternal protective, like a mother bear, intensely nurturing, but not necessarily soft. And ultimately, it's liberating. Its whole point isn't to soothe your ego, but to dissolve it, to set you free.
So it's a tough love, in a way.
You could say that, a profoundly transformative love.
Yep.
The source puts it so powerfully. Kali doesn't make you fall in love. She makes you fall into truth.
On into truth. That's potent. So, from Kali's fierce ego-dissolving truth, let's move to Krishna.
Right. A very different energy, obviously.
Very different, yeah. The material describes him as someone who charms, teaches, seduces, and guides through sweetness and playfulness. We have the iconic images, the flute, the smile.
Which are presented as essentially invitations to surrender. A much gentler pull, perhaps, than Kali's fierce gravity.
But he's not just sweetness and light, is he? The material points out he's also fierce.
Oh, absolutely. You see that clearly in the Mahabharata, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and especially in the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. He's incredibly strategic, deeply wise. He understands karma, dharma, cosmic law, right action completely. He's not naive in the slightest.
So there's a depth and a strength beneath the charm.
Definitely. And his way of teaching is unique, too. It's often through joy, through leela or play. The source notes he smiles even on the battlefield because he knows the soul is untouched by the drama unfolding. It's a profound perspective.
A balance of divine play and deep cosmic awareness. Which leads us to a really central question the material tackles head-on. Krishna and Kali, are they the same?
And the answer given is fundamentally yes. Their essential nature, they aren't different. They are expressions of the same ultimate reality.
Okay, so not different in essence, but their methods, their expressions are quite distinct, like complementary mirrors, not opposites.
Exactly, that's the key idea. They complement each other. Krishna, as we said, teaches through love, charm.
While Kali teaches through fierce truth, fire.
Right, and you could say Krishna destroys ego by melting it with that sweetness and love.
Whereas Kali destroys ego by smashing it with her intensity.
Yeah, it's a powerful contrast. Think about their dances even. Krishna's famous Ras Leela, this ecstatic dance of divine love with the gopis.
Compared to Kali's Mahakali Tandav, the fierce, often destructive, cosmic dance of dissolution and transformation, very different energies.
Very different. And their roles reflect this. Krishna is often seen as the cosmic lover, friend, guide.
While Kali is the cosmic mother, destroyer, liberator.
Energetically, you could even frame it like this. Krishna represents consciousness in play, often called Purusha. the underlying silent awareness, and Kali is Shakti in motion, Prakriti, the dynamic creative energy of the universe.
So Purusha and Prakriti, consciousness and energy, the two fundamental aspects of reality, maybe.
In many schools of thought, yes. They're inseparable, two sides of the same coin. So both Krishna and Kali are seen as complete, powerful expressions of one supreme reality.
Both are guides ultimately to the same place: ego death and soul awakening.
Just using different approaches. They aren't opposed. They are these complementary mirrors of the divine.
There was a great analogy in the material about this.
Ah, yes, the sun and the fire one.
That's the one.
Krishna is the sun that melts you. Kali is the fire that burns you. But both return you to your true self.
Melts you or burns you. But either way, you get transformed back to your essence. That really captures it.
It does, doesn't it? Different paths leading home.
Wow. What a journey through these divine forms. We started with Shiva's essential innocence and his role as that cosmic mirror.
Then Ravana's intense but flawed devotion, leading to his rise and fall.
Witnessed Markandeya's incredible salvation through just complete, unwavering surrender.
Felt the raw, liberating, fiercely maternal power of Kali.
And then experienced Krishna's blend of sweetness, playfulness, and profound strategic wisdom.
And looking back across all of them, you really do see, as the material suggests, the same light wearing many faces.
Yeah, it echoes that thought from the source. Why say Kali is not just this? Why not say this and also this? The divine isn't limited to one mode.
Exactly. It's expansive. It contains all these possibilities.
And maybe that's the ultimate realization here, that divine love, divine reality, it can show up in any guise, as a mother, a lover, a teacher, even a destroyer, if that's what's needed for transformation.
And in the end, the forms themselves dissolve. As the source says, only Brahman remains. The ultimate formless reality.
The dancer and the dance become one. The lover and the beloved disappear. Only truth is left, only you, only that. That's powerful.
It points towards that ultimate non-dual understanding.
So after exploring all these different facets, all these faces, the real question lands back with you, the listener.
Yes. The material leaves us with this direct personal inquiry. What face of the divine is calling you right now? Is it the fierce truth of Kali, the playful wisdom of Krishna, the deep surrender shown to Shiva?
Because, as the source suggests, that the face that resonates with you now is where your next step lies. Something to really ponder as we finish up.
Indeed. Where's your energy being drawn? That's the invitation.